Really deep, many levels of cars parked underneath. And this is one of the entry and exit points, but there are several depending on where you want to go in the city.
Yeah.
You can get out of that parking garage easily. That's why the city of Helsinki has been able to narrow down the driving streets and have more room for pedestrians and bicyclists. Eastern Finland. No?
Not yet.
No, Montreal. Here's one on the left. Pay attention. Museum of Natural History. There's a big moose statue. If you want a good photo opportunity, you can utilize that too. This moose is not going anywhere. And he's heavy. You can lean on him or even ride on him if you're a very agile person. On the right-hand side is what we call the little parliament. All the House representatives of Parliament, they have their working office here. And on the left-hand side, that's where they convene together to discuss and to pass the laws. This is the Finnish Parliament on the left-hand side. A 200-member
200, yeah.
Parliament. And this one here on the right-hand side, again coming up, the Museum of Modern Art. Usually things that most people don't understand. That's called modern art.
Modern art.
Yeah. Some of it is nice, some of it is incomprehensible. New library coming up, this one that you can't tell what it is. It's going to be a completely new space. You can fix your computer, you can borrow a computer, borrow a drone or a book, and do new innovative. Helsinki Music Hall, designed by a Japanese person. Very good acoustics inside. Looks sort of like a depressed and dark block here on the right hand side. But it's huge. Most of the building is underground. A gallery on the left hand side looks like a church. It's not a church, it's a museum. So this has most of the Finnish history in case anybody's interested tomorrow to go in. National Gallery. On the right hand side, Finlandia Hall, designed by famous architect Alvar Aalto. This is where, for example, a lot of the security and political leaders, the US presidents, the Russian, the Soviet presidents have met globally, yeah. And they have also a concert hall. So you can utilize that for conferences or concerts or even meetings. And this is Turla Bay here on the right hand side. Your hotel is at the other end. So when you enter that park that's next to your hotel, it leads to here. And it has a walk around path. You can walk around the bay.
Yeah.
If you wake up early in the morning or you can't sleep at night, go ahead and walk around the bay. You'll hear birds singing and see birds swimming in the water. Don't go swim. Water is still ice cold.
Of course.
1.5 months it is swimmable. You'll see people swimming then, but not. All right, you can, yes, but I won't recommend. On the right hand side, my wife calls this the biggest bathroom of the country. Can you guess what it is? Some people can read.
Yeah. Bedroom.
It's the opera.
Opera.
Yeah, my wife is a big fan of classical music, but she calls this the biggest bathroom in the country. She doesn't like the tiles. Yeah, this is not a joke. She really calls it the biggest. Yeah, I know it's funny. And ahead you see the tower. Is from the Summer Olympics were held in Helsinki. The building I showed you downtown that was built as a temporary place, that's now a restaurant in front, opposite of Finland University offices. It still remained, unfortunately so, because it's one of the so-called functional style that has been completely restored from the inside. It's very beautiful. So this is the Olympic Stadium that's going through a full renovation at the moment. I often bicycle right past it. They have the Olympic swimming stadium at the top of the small hill next to it. Many concerts, rock concerts and sporting events. Church in the Rock, there's a standard €3 entrance fee. It's interesting. All the architects around the globe, those are the places what they tick the box they want to see in the city. That's one of those sites. But these are all just ideas. Nothing is mandatory in Helsinki. This beautiful yellow building, in my opinion, it's beautiful. It's old. This is where the streetcars go to sleep at night, or they also go here to be serviced.
Okay.
Because you can understand that the Finnish winter and climate is quite harsh for the machine, so you need a lot of service. And some of these streetcars, like this one here coming up, I bet that's close to, well, not this particular individual, but those models, some of them are like 40 years old. A Finnish company called Strömberg made such strong electrical drives that it seems that they will never die. The soccer stadium is here. Not much to see, but that's where the national team plays soccer or football. British English. And on the right hand side here there's one ice arena that looks like a saddle dome, the building here on the right hand side. There are two professional teams in Helsinki, and this is the home arena of the number one. The second one is called Jokerit, and they are now playing in KHL, which is the second largest international league after the NHL. Most of the teams come from Russia, but Jokerit, the other team, is part of that league, not the Finnish domestic league. And as you know, Finland is number 3, 4, or 5 in the ice hockey ranking. So we're one of the top countries. So even a small country can compete with Canada and with Russia, with the United States. The World Championships, as we speak, are going on in Denmark. And actually, the Danes beat Finland yesterday, or was it the day before? Which was sort of an upset, but I think the guys were just lazy. Hopefully they will learn their lesson. And this is a 1950s style gas service station. There's still gas, you can buy benzene there, but there's also McDonald's. And they kept the McDonald's. There's all kinds of 1950s guitars and big pictures inside this McDonald's. It's quite cute on the inside. My youngest one is a big McDonald's fan, and she wants to go there all the time. Some things would be complaining because it's not moving all the time. But it is true that even in Helsinki, I bicycle to my office faster than people drive from my area, because I have no obstacles on that central part. So cars have to come in from into a peninsula, so you can't have a ring road. But there's a big plan now that we will connect Estonia and Finland with at least one tunnel, maybe 2 undersea tunnels. Now we have big ferries sailing back and forth between Estonia and Finland. I don't know if you know this, but Helsinki is the biggest passenger port in the world. Yeah, only 5 million Finns. How is this possible? You tell me. No, this is a question, Panuko. Only 5 million Finns. How is it possible that we're the biggest passenger port?
33 million?
University hospital, a public hospital. The private clinics usually want to do something that's easy money. But we do have public and private clinics both. And here you can see the Finnish landscape. It's all bedrock. So whenever you put a district heating system or wastewater system, you have to go through the rock. The bay of the Baltic Bay comes into this, so if you go down the hill you would see water. And also our Prime Minister official residence. When you take that road and go around, there's the President's residence and there's also the Prime Minister's official residence.
Niin ihmeellisellä tavalla, että se tuli suoraan eteen, niin se mun Mersu eka kertaa elämässä löi liinat kiinni.
Joo. Pretty much exploding with the leaves. Now there's enough warmth. There's almost 24 hours of daylight, so they're growing like crazy now. Like the day before yesterday, there was hardly anything, and they're turning green in just a couple of days. Then the leaves reach their full blossom, and the color starts turning dark green. Now it's very, very light green. Quite different. About a week from now, all of these trees that don't have leaves yet, it's going to be a nice boulevard with trees. But it is good in the winter that the leaves are gone because then the little daylight that we get will flow through much better. But I remember one Indonesian delegation many years ago, they landed in Helsinki early spring and they were wondering if we had a nuclear war because all the trees
All the trees yellow.
yeah. Yellow or no
No
leaves.
trees. No leaves.
And the number one comes from because the Turku, that's at the end of this highway, it is the ex-capital. So this has a long history. This long before it was a highway, it was already road number one, Highway 1. You can see the children, they were on bikes. Most of them, they walk to school or they bicycle to school, and they're on their own from a very young age. You see the big medical giant Pfizer, they have one of their main product development offices here in Finland. It's not a Finnish medical company or pharmaceutical company, but they have a big here. Finland has owned, it's called Orion, very successful. So this is nice because you can see that some of the trees have leaves and some are coming. So tomorrow morning, if you take an early morning walk, you will see that the Bay has changed again. That's the nice part of spring. Everything happens quickly. I thought that there was a rain sensor, but he said that it's actually, it breathes the street marking, so it keeps the car in between the lanes. And if that car breaks up suddenly and the driver doesn't notice, the car will break itself. So, I mean, it will slow down on its own. So this is the Baltic Sea. It makes all these inlets. So that's a bike path. You can come from downtown Helsinki and bike and walk. You can see some people crossing here. Beautiful area when you go here and you take a left and you go across the other bridges and go back to downtown. Nice for making morning walks or morning bicycle trips. Yeah. There are many embassies, including Indonesian embassy when you go around one of the islands. Indonesia has a big embassy with many Mercedes parked. Finnish ambassador in Jakarta, one small car. This is one of those business parks where they have many businesses concentrated, only offices, no residents. This is the busiest street, it's called Ring 1. My house is on the busiest street, so that's the ring road, the busiest ring road, or half the ring road. That circles Helsinki. Then there's Ring 2, but long before Ring 2 came, there was Ring 3, and people always ask, why is there Ring 1 and Ring 3? But there was already, decades ago, there was a plan that Ring 2 would eventually come. And now we have part of Ring 2. So this is pretty much the best I have come to traffic jam. There's a lot of birds falling in the air. Let me know, I can stop at the pharmacy on the way back and that will really ease your feeling. Birds is really strong. Before I went to the University of Helsinki to study forestry, there's a mandatory practical service in there. I was in the forest service. And we were cutting down some trees and cutting them in the time, during the time when the pollen was coming. That's how I got my allergy, because you get so much at once, so much exposure. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me now, but I can get you some antihistamine.
Yes, okay.
Okay?
Yes, forresten.
Most signs say two times the same thing in Finnish and in Swedish. Usually not in English, but Finnish and Swedish. Two official languages. There are about 5% population that other countries Swedish. Mostly in the coastal areas, but some live in land. But that's the reason why we have bilingual street signs. time when it was still part of Finland.
Yeah, with dignity.
When I was speaking in Jakarta, the ambassador of Sweden was sitting in the front row. I mean, I had been traveling with her for a week, but I said this, and this graph is from the time when, at this time Finland was still, excuse me, when Sweden was still part of Finland. She was clapping out. She had a sense of humor. And then I said, and here later on, this is the graph, then she said, instead of me, when Russia was still part of Finland. It's the most popular flower now in early spring. Yeah, beautiful, and you can eat it. It's not poisonous. You can eat it, and some people make salad, some people make wine out of the leaf. And if you eat the green leaf, it's really good for your digestion. It's a little bit irritating the leaf, but it's really good. Most people consider it meat in the garden because it does multiply quickly. Spread and it flowers quickly and then it produces this white that the seeds have like a parachute. So they fly everywhere. Here you see, yeah. Not all yellow flowers are safe to eat though, but that particular one is safe. But when we go to Nuuksio, there are no poisonous animals in Finland, so you don't have to worry about that. If there's a viper, okay, and he or she is poisonous, but not lethal. But they usually go away from people. They're not aggressive snakes, unless you threaten them. The most dangerous animal is the moose, and that's dangerous because they cross streets. And if you're driving really fast at night, but you can't see them. It's a tall and heavy animal. Also top of the car. With bedrock all over. You can see easily here because they're expanding the road. So they have to take the topsoil off, and then they start drilling and they put some dynamite in it. But surely they make it. And then they have big machinery that crushes those different sizes of gravel. They use it for road building or making it so that around the house the water is coming in the house that keeps it outside. And here we're just crossing the railroad between Helsinki and Turku. That's where the trains travel. West of Helsinki, 1.5 hours. There are many bridges like this. And here's the Swedish IKEA. They have 3, so that's the outer ring of capital. Very important for transporting, for example, goods with the trucks with the freight car.
There are so many cars like Pandu Profesor. Yesterday I find Pandu Profesor. There are many here. So